Hello everybody, this is Braxwolf, and I'm going to look at Archeage today. Got into the closed beta 4 for this game and was really pleasantly surprised by most of it. I just wanted to kind of do a quick first impressions video. Not a whole lot of meat here, just what I noticed in playing through about 10 levels of the game. I have one character, Nenya, and she is kind of a roguelike from the continent of Harania. If I'm pronouncing that right, I know absolutely nothing about Archeage lore, so I apologize. She's kind of a rogue character. She could either be, I think she could either be ranged or she could be kind of a blade rogue. And as you can see from the character screen, they have successfully incorporated what I affectionately refer to as jiggle physics. So some folks may never even leave the character creation screen. But I, on the other hand, am going to go forward. Okay, here we are, and things seem to be loading now. As you can see, I'm in the world, and the UI looks very familiar. It looks just like an MMO UI, which it is. It has the health bar here up at the top with health and mana. It has the chat window down here. It's got your progress bar down at the bottom, your skill bar here down at the bottom. I think you start out with 2 rows. I went ahead and added the third when I started getting more skills. You got your menu down here in the right hand side, which is pretty cool. A little marketplace icon, which is really not too obtrusive at this point. Don't mind it too much. Your quest tracker over here, which is pretty cool. I'll come back to that in just a second. And the mini-map up here, which is a fairly large mini-map and has a lot of symbols on it for a mini-map. But because it's transparent the way it is, I don't really even find it that obtrusive, so I'm not mad. Now, the quest tracker that I talked about over here, one of the things I really like about it is when you mouse over it, it shows you your objective on the minimap. Did you see how that was flashing when I did that? The other thing that's kind of cool about it is these arrows on the ground correspond to the quests in the tracker over here. So the little green triangle, this one right here, tells you you got to run this way to do that. Just in case you're not very good at reading maps up here, I guess. It gives you an idea of which direction to go. Helpful, but not completely helpful, because it's very possible that you run into a mountain too at some point if you're not looking at the map. There again is objective 2, same general direction. Now, one of the interesting mechanics of this game is that, as you can see down here at the bottom, it says labor 149. Well, they've got what's called labor points. They're trying to make the game fairly crafting centric, and you earn labor points at this period of time by just being in game and playing. And premium players are going to earn labor points quicker, free players obviously slower. I think about 1/5 of the rate of premium players. I do not know what this icon means. That's a new one by me. So I'm going to see what he has to say. Looks like it may be a crafting quest. Now, one of the cool things about interacting with NPCs on this game is that if you don't want to go through all the text, you're one of those people that just wants the objective, you can go over here and click the accept button right away and not have to go through all of this. If you're one more of a role player or somebody who's interested in the story, you can click through the next buttons down here and it'll go through all of the dialogue. Sometimes your character responds. Unfortunately, you can't pick at this point what your character says. It's just kind of a one-way dialogue. But you can click through all the dialogue and then click accept at the end, or you can just skip all of it and click accept right away. I haven't noticed any voiceovers on the NPCs yet. I hope that they're going to put some in. That would make it even more immersive. But there is voiceovers on the cutscenes, which is a little bit dramatic for my taste, honestly. But the cutscenes are nice. They have the words down at the bottom and the voiceover, so for me that totally reinforces the story. I remember things better when I see it and hear it at the same time. Let's go see if I can figure out which objective to complete. Oh yeah, here's one thing. find my mount. For some reason my mount icon does not stay on my shortcut bar. There's a quest in here that you can, you can raise your mount from a youngling, I guess, and you do that by giving it water and playing with it and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool because you can get different mounts in the game that way. I assume by picking them up either in the wild or in the town somewhere and raising them from small. It looks like I'm supposed to do combat for this green quest here. The green quest, I believe, is like your epic quest line. Oops. Wrong button. New game, not used to it. Alright, let's see some cool ninja moves from my girl. I'm supposed to kill some of these guys, I believe. And I found what I was supposed to. Really impressed by the combat animations in this game. Makes it feel really fun to have my little ninja girl jumping all over the place. Now keep in mind this is a lower level area, so I'm sure the combat does get more difficult. And I've noticed the questing is a little bit hub and spoke, but there's also a little bit of the what I saw in the Elder Scrolls Online, where it kind of progresses a little bit more naturally. It takes you to your next objective, as opposed to sending you back to where you just came from all the time. Leads you through the world that way. It's very theme parkish, but honestly, that's kind of what I like. A lot of people complain that things aren't sandboxy enough, but I'm really good with the theme park aspects. And this quest here is leading me to a town that I've never been to before, so this is going to be my next major place, I think, to pick up some stuff to do. You can kind of see where you need to turn stuff in. You can see this light up here, this beam of light. They're not subtle about where you need to go to turn things in. Not sure what these Gilda stars are for. Some kind of barter item, I guess. And here's a cutscene.
It was getting easier to tell which memories belonged to Melisara and which were yours. You had never studied magic with the man who'd become the dread god in the royal library.
Yeah, that voiceover actually wasn't terrible. Some of them are a little too dramatic. So overall impressions, I really, I kind of like this game. Right now there seems to be a bug where I can't scroll back. It was working the other day, but I can't get out of once I scroll all the way forward. I like the aesthetics. I like the world. I like the combat so far. Disclaimer, I'm only level 10, so I haven't gotten into the PvP areas, which this game does have open world PvP, so I'm not sure if I'm going to like that or not. I haven't done that before, really, in an MMO. Most of my time has been spent doing PvE content. I like a lot of the new things. One thing I forgot to mention was on these quests that you're supposed to go out and kill 10 whatevers. You don't have to do all of that. One interesting thing about this game is that you can choose to do fewer than the requested kills for some of these quests and come and turn in the quest anyway, and they will accept that turn-in. They will just give you a reduced amount of XP for it. So, being that this game is going to be free to play, follow the free to play and premium model, or freemium model, I guess you could say, I think there's a distinct chance that I might install this game and leave it installed. I might actually play this game in between my Lotro sessions. It really kind of depends on whether I get to a point where I'm in the open world doing PvP, and that ruined the experience for me or not. It's going to be really interesting to see. So I forgot to finish my thought about the labor points. So you're probably wondering, great, you accumulate labor points over time. What do they use for? Well, they're used for work-related things in this game. That's like crafting, carrying materials for crafting, and in the case of drops, you use labor points to identify things. Like this farmer's coin purse has a question mark on it, and it costs 1 labor point to open it and see what's in it. So I'm going to do that now. I opened it and gained some XP, and I found that there was a silver, 96 copper, and you can do that for items that drop as well. See, I have this shield in my inventory that I don't really want to identify because I don't use a shield, so I don't want to use the 5 labor points to identify it. But as you get armor and weapons dropped throughout the world, a lot of them need to be identified by your character before they can be used. The other thing I wanted to go over real quick here was the combat skills. You start off with a single, I keep wanting to call this a tree, but it's not really a tree. It's just a batch of skills, and each of them unlock at different levels. And you start off with this batch over here on the left-hand side, and this is determined by the class that you choose when you create your character. And then as you continue to go on, Shadowplay was the one, you can pick a different batch of skills as you level up and unlock these things. So you unlock the batch of skills as you level, you unlock the skills as you level, and you unlock the skills as you earn skill points. I have 0 right now because I've used them all. Skill points are earned as you level up. So I picked Battle Rage as my second group of skills here, and as you can see, I've unlocked a couple of the skills in that tree. It's not a tree, that batch of skills. And I picked, I think it's Oromancy, kind of a magic type debuff batch of skills. And when I picked those 3 together, it told me my class is Dark Runner, which sounds really awesome. So that's how you progress through your skills in Archeage. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope you get a chance to play this game at some point and decide for yourself whether it's going to be worth playing or not. I'm enjoying it, and I will see you next time.